Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. Recently, Mass Eye and Ear presented a video on their research. They're allowing us to share it with you now.
Imagine a world without Alzheimer's disease. Mass Eye and Ear's Dr. Joseph Arboleda Velasquez is working to make that a reality. Just a few years ago, he made worldwide news. An extended family in Colombia has been suffering from early Alzheimer's for decades, starting in their 40s. But Dr. Arboleda discovered a woman in her 70s who was spared. Why? First, you need to understand how Alzheimer's progresses.
In this cascade of events, you have amyloid at the top, and that triggers the accumulation of another protein that is called tau. And then once you have tau accumulation, we have the dysfunction of neurons, and then they die, and we observe memory loss. She was protected, somehow, and that protective factor was stopping and blocking the connection between amyloid, tau, and neurodegeneration.
In the Colombian woman's case, a protective mutation called ApoE3 Christchurch stopped the cascade, even though she had the highest levels ever recorded of amyloid plaque. The culprit the scientific world has been focused on for years.
It showed us it was possible for somebody to beat the odds and stay protected from Alzheimer's for decades. So now when we put this antibody into the mice, they have less tau pathology, much like the patient, which is quite a remarkable finding.
The doctor has great faith that therapies they're developing could work.
We, for instance, have been able to make that antibody into a drug that could potentially be used in humans.
And now Dr. Arboleda is rocking the scientific world again.
What we found was a mutation in a different gene. The name of the gene is reelin.
There's some evidence now just putting more reelin, which is this protein, in the brain could help.
It operates via a mechanism that we call gain of function. Essentially, it makes the protein work better. And the moment that you are doing therapeutic development, when you have a gain of function mutation, it's very easy to develop therapeutics because the bottom line is that you have to put just more of it. What would be the therapeutic in this case? More reelin. And now people know that the Christchurch wasn't just a one-time wonder. There are people out there that have protective genes, and they can show us the pathway towards better therapeutics.
The potential to end the epidemic of Alzheimer's could be a game changer because the physical, emotional, and financial tolls of the disease are enormous. Nobody knows this better than Gail Matthews, author of the book, Did I Die?
I started to write the book because it was my husband's idea. He put his hands on my shoulders when the doctor said that he might have Alzheimer's and to have it further checked. And he said, we have a project. Start taking notes. If you're the caregiver, there are 11 million of them taking care of 6 million patients right now. You are just on all the time. You can't leave them alone. You can't really have any rest. Towards the end, it's hell. It's absolute hell. But if you love someone deeply, you are seeing this person deteriorate. He died 10 years ago, and I still feel it. He was my partner. And there was no more saying goodnight.
But Dr. Arboleda's work is giving all of us great hope for the future.
Mass Eye and Ear has such an incredible reputation. And if they say that they will have something, I believe them.
But the ultimate goal of my research is to create a world without Alzheimer's disease. These patients open the door for that to be a reality. I know it's possible for people to beat Alzheimer's for decades.
It's just so important to get this disease out of the way. It would mean that my project is finished
Thanks to Mass Eye and Ear for their efforts to eradicate this ugly disease that takes away our loved ones even before they die. When we return, we'll present a video from our Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice, encouraging people to become part of their caregiving team. It's up next here on YCN, so stay tuned.
This program is supported by the Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge-Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.